Juanita, Rosa, and Santa. And presenting our last award will be Juana Guzman, very appropriate, co-creator of the Sor Juana Festival. Juana, please come on.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here, and with my daughter's son again to my left. It is such a pleasure to be here to present three remarkable women. When Carlos told me that he wanted me to present the award to them, I leaped with joy, as he expected me to be so. And so I want to share a little bit about who these three women and how I got to meet them. On the south side of Chicago, in a community known as South Chicago, three sisters, Juanita, Santa, and Rosa Negrete, first came together along with their brother, Jesus Chuy Negrete, in 1970. To create a street theater known as Teatro de Barrio. They started singing Mexican corridos about the history of Mexican people, the United Farm Workers, and social change. Their music was influenced after meeting the great farm worker activist Cesar Chavez. His message of the struggles of the United Farm Workers hit home for the Negretes because their parents were former migrant workers. So as they created this theater, influenced by Luis Valdez and Teatro Campesino, who came to Chicago in 1971. I remember that, Juanita and Santa. They brought together a remarkable group of young Mexican performers from South Chicago and created the Teatro Barrio, which was a safe space for them to come together. And they nurtured the seed of creativity, singing songs of protest, skits about the issues that were impacting the Mexican community, bravely facing these issues. And that was the platform they gave to these young people. As a member of that Teatro de Barrio, I had the joy and opportunity to travel with them throughout the United States. And I remember when I met Juanita, Santa, and Rosa, I was awed by these three beautiful, confident, young Mexican women singing protest music. Yes, sí se puede. It was very empowering to witness and be part of that history. Later, in 1977, the Negrete sisters would leave Teatro de Barrio to form their own all-woman group called Chispas that also focused on folklore and protest music. Since then, they moved on to other careers, like all of us. However, their artistic contribution as co-founders of Teatro de Barrio and Chispas has not been forgotten. Thank you, National Museum of Mexican Art, for doing this. Therefore, it is with great honor to present the Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz Award to Juanita, Santa, and Rosa Negrete.
El grito del mexicano, de orgullo. The scream of a Mexicano, of happiness, of pride. There have been many studies of why the Mexicano screams, but they haven't been resolved. It's in our blood. This is how I felt when I was told that I was going to be given this award. Thank you. Thank you, Carlos Tortelero, Juana Guzman, and the National Museum of Mexican Arts. Thank you for the Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz Award. A 17th century nun, Mexican nun, writer, poet, who valued and fought for the woman's right to education. Imagine that, 17th century, and this was going on. I want to thank you as an individual, as a Mexican woman, and as part of our singing group, Chispa. The translation, spark. A single spark can start a prairie fire. And this is what Chispa set out to do. It began in the early 70s in the southeast side of South Chicago. In a barrio known as South Chicago, our brother Chuy, may God rest his soul in peace, his sisters and our other community compañeros started El Teatro del Barrio. As Juana had told you the story of El Teatro, we traveled throughout the Midwest, Mexico, and spreading the word of our people, of our culture. We started learning about our culture and our roots as young adults, the hidden history that was not taught to us in our schools. We became the teachers and began spreading the history of our people through theater and music, our rich cultural history that we didn't know about our history and where we came from. So we had to find out ourselves. After a while, Chuy and his guitar went solo, and the Negrete sisters formed Chispas. We would continue to spread the history of the Mexican people utilizing songs, humor, slides, or simply un grito to educate the public of our indigenous history. Lastly, I would like to thank my family and friends, many of you who are here tonight. Thank you. Thank you for supporting us throughout all these years. Gracias, and thank you again for this remarkable award.
Thank you, Rosa. First of all, I want to thank God for guiding me throughout this long, amazing journey. I want to thank my parents who migrated to the U.S. and planted their roots in South Chicago, 91st and Houston Avenue, now known as the honorary street, Dr. Jesus Chuy Negrete Way. I want to acknowledge my late brother Chuy, who under his directorship in 1970, in the midst of the Chicano movement, the Teatro del Barrio was born, educating the masses of our indigenous Mexican culture, Chicano power, through corridos, teatro, and song. We were all a group of young people, just out of high school. Including my two sisters, Santa and Rosa, who later in 1977 became El Grupo Chispa. We have ventured an amazing journey that brings us here today. I also want to acknowledge all of our colleagues, our compañeros, compañeras, and friends, some here today. And there are so many to name that have also truly become part of our family. Today, our journey has come to full circle. We wish to thank the National Museum of Mexican Art, Carlos Tortelero, Juana Guzman, for this recognition. We are truly honored to be recipients as we accept this prestigious Sor Juana Award. In closing, I will say this. Somos el Grupo Chispa, con ustedes cantaremos y con todos de ustedes venceremos. Gracias.
We all need glasses now. Hello, everyone. As I look around and I see many faces that have encouraged and had mentored me throughout my journey, I still remember after high school leaving my parents' home in South Chicago and moving to 18th Street. That is where I started my life as a Chicana, supporting and protesting with the United Farm Workers of America. I had the privilege and the honor to meet Cesar Chavez in person, which has made very difference in my life. My late brother, Chu Negrete, was a great influence on me as I pretended to our Mexican family. The struggle and the oppression of our people, me and my sisters have traveled the country, first under direction, later my brother Chu Negrete, Dr. Chu Negrete. That's going on our own with my sisters. What's going on with my sisters, Juanita, Santa, and Rosa? We began El Grupo Chispa. We continue to perform at colleges, fairs, art exhibits, and events that required our presence. Through our continued music and street theater, we endured no other place that we wanted to be. We are all retired now and have performed as Chispa for a while. We have not performed as Chispa for a while. But me and my sister Juanita are still performing. By the way, we have a performance coming up in Pilsen, November 19th. Write that down. At this time, I want to thank God for the struggle and the personal acknowledgement that He has given to me. I also want to thank Erica, who has taken over where I left off in school. Erica has 2 master's degrees in education and in youth counseling, and has applied for her doctoral program. She has been a great inspiration for me. She will become an example and encouragement for the next generation of Chicanitas. Erica, my daughter, thank you. Finally, I want to thank the National Museum of Mexican Fine Arts, Director Carlos Cortodero, and of course, one of my closest friends, Juana Guzman, who presented our sisters, Juanita and Rosa, with this wonderful and beautiful award for the first time. I'm so blessed and so honored to receive this award. We will try to continue our legacy. And I always remember in my heart my brother, Jesus Chu Negrete, siempre presente. Thank you and God bless.